When we swim in the sea, there's always a sensation of the unknown, and as you get further out into deeper water, you start to wonder, what is down there? Out in the Cayman Islands, this scuba diver was doing some work helping out the natural environment. His job was to spear lionfish, which are an invasive species and who, without the normal balance of their native ecosystem, are responsible for serious destruction in the delicate waters of the Western Caribbean. It's no easy task dealing with these fish, and it takes a lot of skill, as those spines on the back of the lionfish are venomous and touching one would be seriously painful. 70 feet below the surface, the diver heads into the rocks and takes a hold of a lionfish, which he pulls into his collection net. But as he does so, he clearly feels some pain, as we can hear him make a grunt. Turning around, we can see he is facing a shark, which is attacking him, possibly trying to get to the lionfish, which sharks will eat once they are dead. And so they know the divers are a source of food. Only this shark seems to be more in the mood to eat the diver himself. Using all his skill, nerve, and calm, the diver then must fight off the shark with only his fishing spear. There is of course no hope outswimming the shark, so he must fend it off and then keep it where he can see it, until finally the shark gives up. Off the coast of Mossel Bay, South Africa, in what is known as the Southern Cape, the waters are reputed to be among the most shark-infested in the world. So common are sharks here, including the almighty great white shark, that tourists are attracted to the area for boat tours, hoping to catch sight of the incredible fish. But these German visitors got a little more than just catching sight of a great white. In fact, they had been out looking for something much less ferocious, hoping to see the local seal population, but they got a too real close-up of something far bigger when a great white launched an attack on their rubber boat. Just the kind of boat you do not want to be in when facing a shark attack. They say that parasailing can be dangerous, but they usually mean you could crash into something or get blown off course. This lady, however, seems to have bigger problems than that. The boat ahead of her was pulling her along, trying to get a nice shot of her in this flattering position, having the time of her life, when, from out of nowhere, this almighty huge shark breached and went to take a bite out of her. Swinging her legs up, she managed to escape being bitten like some Hollywood action movie star. Rumor has it this shark hangs out near the shore, feeding exclusively on parasailers who drop into its mouth as an easy meal. What do you think about it? As always, comment down below. You might think the manatee was a kind of sweet-natured, bumbling, cute sea mammal that sings a song so sweet that they are believed to be the foundation of the mermaid myth, as sailors thought they were seeing beautiful fish women on the rocks singing to them while combing their hair. Well, you'd be pretty much accurate in that assumption. Not that you'd guess this from the reaction of Caroline Winch of Florida, who went for a swim with the friendly herbivores.
Oh my God! Ah! Look at that! Look at it!
Who are kind of like the cows of the sea. As far as you can tell from her, it might as well have been a saltwater crocodile in there. In fact, Caroline was convinced that manatees were a shark's cousin, as she put it, and she began to run, thinking of how she would never get to say goodbye to her mom, having been mauled to death by a seaweed-eating, chubby mermaid cow thing. One tip for Caroline's friends and family: never take her to a petting zoo unless you want to see another life-or-death escape like this one. Stingrays are usually pretty peaceful creatures, unless you accidentally step on one, when these relatives of the sharks will defend themselves by swishing the barb of their tail into whatever is hurting it, which is enough to cause a lot of pain. Or as in the case of famous nature documentary maker Steve Irwin, a freak hit on the chest can actually be fatal. Irwin's death was so unusual, it was only the second recorded stingray fatality in Australia since the Second World War. However, since then, another man, aquarium diver Philip Chan of Singapore, was killed in a manner similar to Irwin while he was diving and cleaning out the aquarium stingray tank. So these people diving with stingrays near the Cayman Islands were not doing so completely risk-free, even if an angry stingray is seriously rare. And the stingray doesn't only have its barbed tail as a weapon, but it also has a set of teeth, as this woman discovered when one of the rays gave her a bite which drew blood. Lucky for her, it was only a bite and not a strike with the tail. Carolina surfer David Woodward decided to head out for a surf with his new GoPro attached back in April of 2017. The surf was small that day, and Woodward was pretty much all alone in the water. Or so he thought. As we can see in the video, he paddles out to meet the waves, and then turning, we can see an ominous and familiar shape lurking in the onrushing wave. It's a juvenile great white shark, and a juvenile great white is not like a puppy dog. These things can still cause massive damage. Experienced surfer Woodward says he's seen plenty of young great whites out in the water, so he wasn't too disturbed. But nonetheless, the experienced surfer decided to make his way out of the shark's neighborhood as quickly as possible. Usually, young great whites are looking around for stingrays to eat, not surfers, but this one seemed to have drawn in close enough to Woodward to be a threat, and there was not much else he could do other than paddle fast and hope he didn't catch a bite. A close call. Crocodile attacks drone. Off the coast of Groote Eylandt, Australia, local man Quinton Roper decided to take his new drone out for a spin back in February of this year. Remember that whole pre-lockdown world? No? Me neither. Things were looking pretty beautiful out that day, and a real sense of calm was in the air, only he notices a massive saltwater crocodile bathing right nearby. Unable to resist the opportunity for a closer look, Roper flew his drone down to inspect the crocodile, and he was surprised to see the giant reptile leap from the water and attempt to snatch the drone from the air as it flew past. The croc didn't quite manage to take it down, but the glancing blow damaged the drone, and Roper knew he had just caught some amazing footage. So he brought the drone back to the boat for a crash landing, managing to avoid losing it in the sea. The croc kept hanging around the boat for a while after, maybe waiting to see how he looked on camera doing his thing being to leap into the air with jaws of death snapping shut around anything that comes too close. Lionfish. Getting up close and personal with lionfish is all part of this diver's job. As we said earlier, these spiny creatures are certainly beautiful to look at, but one touch from those nasty spines can result in serious pain. The venom isn't lethal, but it causes enough pain that you might wish it were. Here we see the diver doing a little cleanup of Florida's coastal waters. Lionfish were first sighted here in the 1980s, north of Miami, and since then their numbers have increased enormously. Normally, nature finds a way to balance out predator and prey, but lionfish do not really have any natural predators in the waters here. And so this combined with their nasty body armor means that they have quickly become a threat to all the other marine life they live with. Researchers are doing all they can to learn as much as possible about these fish so that they can figure out how to try and restore the natural order in the seas here. Until then, divers are going to get a little too close for comfort to these venomous little fish. That's all the close calls we have time for in this video. Have you ever encountered something terrifying in the water? Let us know in the comments below. See you next time!